know what? With every single theory that I talked about Sonic Frontiers so far, I guess it's safe to say that I've done pretty well at the moment. But there's one more thing I actually want to talk about Sonic Frontiers for this time being is the new story that we actually are going to be getting in Sonic Frontiers. So let's talk about it. Yo, what's up, my Master Mad Lads? My name is Madrog, and welcome back to another Mad Theory, where today, I feel like I can finally finalize things with all the Sonic Frontiers theories that I've been doing so far, and putting it into this final theory right here. Now, first off, I actually talked about the new story mode that we're going to be getting before, based on actually in the story that maybe Infinite may be coming back to Sonic Frontiers. However, there is a downside. I don't think that's technically what's going to be happening. I mean, sure, that's what it was probably going to be in my imagination. Let's be honest. I feel like everyone would love to see Infinite come back to Sonic Frontiers, but it may not be what you think. People were probably suggesting just because they don't have any of these characters in the game, that doesn't mean we're not going to get them. Or they're probably speculating so much that, in the end, we're just going to get Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and probably Sage as well. So yeah, there's always two sides of the story. So just to keep things clear, I could build things up a bit, but let's just stick to what we know so far in this image right here. As we can see that, as I said, that there are Tails, Knuckles, and Amy in their cyber forms for some unknown reason. What does that even mean? I mean, technically speaking, we freed them all, right? We literally just freaking freed them after destroying the end after the battle that we had. So why is it that they're still in cyberspace? Was it something happened, or did we miss something? Also, take a look at this building right here that you can actually see. Now, as you notice right here, that this is actually the same building that we actually get to see while traveling into the Uranus Island. Uranus Island is the final island of Sonic Frontiers in the Starfall Islands. And by the looks of things, this roof-like shape is literally the exact same one. Because, let's be honest, I feel like that's like the only roof-like building that we get to see on this island particularly. And I feels like that maybe it's up to Tails, Knuckles, and Amy to actually do something about it. Maybe they have to discover something that we still do not know about this entire whole building yet. On this island specifically. Because remember, we're not going to get any other islands. I feel like it's just going to be in this island for some unknown reason. But whatever that reason is, must be important. I mean, why wouldn't they show this building? Huh? I mean, they gotta show it for a reason, right? That's the thing. Also, you notice that Sage is actually here as well on the sides. Is it possible that we could possibly have, well, a playable Sage? Because that would be actually pretty cool. We kind of technically play as Sage while we actually ride the Supreme Titan in the final boss against the end, really. But if we're actually going to be playing as Sage, like literally play as Sage, then hopefully we can have something that is very interesting that we could use as playing as Sage. First off, we know that Sage can fly. She can have this crazy telepathic powers, whatever the freaking hell she just did with the GON helicopters in cyberspace. Also, she can change color, which, by the way, that's what happens every time when she starts learning furthermore about what's going on with Sonic and his friends. And to show the fact that she actually cares a lot more, and she develops a whole lot more feelings towards these characters, even towards his father, Eggman. One thing that I feel like that she could also possibly do as a mechanic gameplay as well, she could possibly actually switch between cyberspace and the real world. I feel like that would be pretty cool, just trying to swap between worlds. So you're technically in one world, but you're still in the same world, but you're just switching to it. That would be pretty neat. As for the other characters, such as Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, well, it's pretty obvious what they're gonna have, right? Tails has his two tails to fly, so he have the ability to fly, right? Then we have Knuckles, who has the ability to glide and also climb onto other atmosphere surfaces. Hopefully he has the ability to punch as well. I want to beat people up. And then same thing with Amy. Maybe she could possibly float a little bit, but mostly she'll probably have her Pico Pico hammer. Other than that, I feel like that those are the only ways that these characters can be possibly playable. But the thing is, since that, as I said before, that they're in their cyberspace state, does that mean that we're traveling through cyberspace again? Like, are there going to be new cyberspace levels, or are we going to be roaming around between dimensions in the open zones? Because I'm trying to... It's very hard to understand, because we haven't technically got the full details yet. But at this rate, it kind of feels like that's what's going to happen. I'm just letting that all open out there, okay? Now, let me talk to you about the stuff that, that could possibly happen for this DLC, or maybe even another season DLC. Because remember, these DLCs are all Season 1 DLC content. We don't technically know if there's going to be a Season 2 DLC pack coming on our way for maybe 2024 or something. It's a possibility, but who knows? I mean, I would love that as well if they're going to put anything else in Sonic Frontiers. So, more characters perhaps, that would be freaking amazing. A lot of people would definitely love Shadow in the game to also bring up stuff that he has brought up, that he actually had back in the past. Like, the days when there was Maria Robotnik and Gerald Robotnik, GUN. He could probably have his own cyberspace levels based on his memories. That will make a lot of sense. I mean, can you imagine the interaction between, Shadow and Sage? I mean, what happens if Shadow actually has his friends kidnapped in cyberspace as well? This would mean that he would have to save, Rouge and Omega, which would be very interesting to see. What about Silver the Hedgehog, for example? He's a time traveler, and since due to the fact that if you max out all of your abilities, Sonic does actually say, like, I know a time traveler who can actually, revert time for ya. And I'm not kidding, that actually happened. He actually says that. Which is very tempting, but the Coco said that, it's probably best to move on. But Silver the Hedgehog would also be another interesting take if he were to be another new character to actually be playable in the game. Maybe this time he will have to just say specifically Blaze the Cat, I guess. And if it's possible, maybe Marine the Raccoon would possibly be in the game. Vector the Crocodile and the Team Chaotix? Who knows? Metal Sonic? Whoa, that'll be an interesting one. Metal Sonic has no teammates other than the Robotniks, and technically speaking, he only knows only the Badniks that he knows. Well, maybe possibly Tails Doll and Metal Knuckles. Can you imagine if we actually play as Neo Metal Sonic in Sonic Frontiers? Can you imagine? Just literally just flying, we get to hear him talk. Use his liquid adaptability. Hey, can you imagine if we can actually go Super Neo Metal Sonic in Sonic Frontiers? Oh, yes! Now that'd be gorgeous! So, maybe even see him transform somehow. Have some interactions between Sage, perhaps, as well. I feel like that'll be also another interesting take. Since that Metal Sonic and Sage are both created by Eggman, and they're very successful creations that Eggman has created, there will 100% be a lot of interactions between the two. That is, if we can actually hear Metal Sonic talk. So that's why I'm technically also suggesting to have Neo Metal Sonic, if you get what I mean. Do I want a playable Blaze? Maybe. I mean, that's a possibility. Anybody else? I mean, that's all I feel like that could possibly be the best players to actually be put as playable if Sega and Sonic Team ever decide to actually do something like this. If they do like a second DLC pack for this kind of stuff, then sure, why not? I'll be happy to play that kind of stuff and see how that goes from there. New stories, new interactions, more character developments, all that kind of stuff. And I'm just basically just using my massive imagination out there at this point in time. But I'm just throwing all of these out there just for the sake of it. It's always best to leave these things open. Because we're not sure what the hell's going to happen if we're going to get this sort of stuff and what their story is going to obtain. And the story that I talked about, that Sage and Infinite may interact and Infinite may get revenge if he ever comes back to Sonic Frontiers in my last episode, still feel like that would be a banger of a story. So you haven't checked that out now, go ahead and check it out after this video perhaps. So what do you guys think? What do you think that this new story is going to obtain? Are we actually going to be traveling through cyberspace in just, the cyberspace levels? Or will we actually be able to roam around in the place between dimensions and cyberspace and the real world? And is it possible we're getting a Season 2 DLC pack with more playable characters and more stories to obtain so we can get all this fascinating stuff? So let me know that in the comments below. And thank you guys for watching for this video, because that is finally it for Sonic Frontiers Theory for the time being. But right now, I do feel like I'm comfortable with everything that I've mentioned so far. All the other stuff, that could be probably maybe for like a fun little theory perhaps, with all the hidden stuff that we still haven't mentioned about. I've already looked at it all. I might as well just do whatever the heck I want to do with this thing until we finally get some good stuff. So when the DLCs finally come out, I'll probably play some more. Yeah. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the notification bell to never miss a video. And like always, my name is Mad Dog, and may your days be mad and rad.